And that's it, I'm afraid. There's no more from you on the transcript. That's the last I've got. I don't know what stopped you talking, but I can guess. They're coming. The angels are coming for you. But listen, your life could depend on this. Don't blink. Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead. They are fast, faster than you could believe. Don't turn your back. Don't look away, and don't blink. Good luck.
Doctor Who has a certain reputation of making the ordinary extraordinary in a terrifying way. Whether it's shop window dummies coming to life or cars emitting poisonous gas, it's always found a way to turn the most mundane into something special. And nobody's done this better than Steven Moffat. Before he took over as showrunner in 2010, Moffat's episodes consisted of imaginative concepts built up on the foundations of the everyday. So how did he do it? How did he make the ordinary memorable? Well, the basic answer is, he didn't. The most memorable villains from Steven Moffat, at least before 2010, were the Weeping Angels, the Vashta Nerada, and the Empty Child. All three of these monsters have one thing in common. They're all based off things we can find on Earth, but it goes deeper than that. These just aren't things we'd find lying around the house, they're things that are already creepy. Moffat's debut writing for the series was in the first series of the revival with The Empty Child, which featured the villain with the same name. A bunch of zombies stumbling around wartime London with gas masks on. Anybody who says they don't find gas masks eerie already, especially as they were during World War II, is probably lying to themselves. From their design to their purpose, to stop people choking to death, is horrible, which is why it's even more creepy to see them on children. The Empty Child wasn't just a child because children can easily put on a slow sing-song voice like every horror movie. Seeing a child wearing a gas mask is daunting. A child, something so innocent and pure and young, scrambling to stop themselves choking on gas is horrible enough. So Moffat took this very creepy thing that's already scary in real life and put a twist on it. The gas mask is glued to the child's face, it's part of its anatomy. It's always on the brink of death, and that's been used to create a zombie from it. The thematic links and subconscious fears of children and gas masks were used to create a creature that sends shivers down our spines. But nothing truly scary was introduced until Blink, the introductory story for the Weeping Angels. Everything made the story gripping and scary, from the editing to the score, but the angels are a scary concept by themselves. Similarly to the Empty Child and gas masks, stone angels are certainly eerie. They're most likely found in graveyards guarding the dead. It's where people go to mourn and grieve, which is bad enough. But the mere look of the statues are bad enough. Soulless eyes and blank expressions. However, unlike the gas masks, there's not really a reason why they're eerie. The look of them maybe, and the connotations of death, but that's it. If anything, they're historically supposed to be positive, guiding the souls of the dead to heaven and grieving over the loss. But still, they're creepy, and this is where Moffat's genius comes in. He shows us why they're creepy. They can move, they can kill. When you're not looking, they attack. The way they work calls back to Grandma's footsteps or red light, green light, or whatever variation different countries have. The innocence of this contrasts with the malicious intent and makes us feel vulnerable to the usual purity of the aspect. A similar concept was used with the Vashta Nerada, the most obvious one with it being common knowledge that humans have a primeval fear of the dark. But as we've become more intelligent and found logic in our thinking, we've discovered we're not afraid of the dark. We're afraid of what's waiting in it. We're afraid of the unknown. But again, Moffat has put a twist on it. No, he says with the Vashta Nerada, we're not afraid of the dark. We're not afraid of the unknown. It is literally the dark that scares us, and here's why. And it's certainly done its job. Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead was the first story that affected me as a child. I couldn't go up the stairs if I saw it was dark at the top. It was a genius move that couldn't be battled with logic, because it didn't matter if I was assured nothing was up there, because the Vashta Nerada couldn't be seen. They were a swarm of shadows, and incorporating this into our own world was done brilliantly, with a line of,
"Should be most planets, not Earth."
Earth? There are a billion other worlds. Where there's meat, there's Vashta Nerada. You can see them sometimes if you look. The dust in sunbeams.
the Vashta Nerada exist, and we know they exist, we've seen them, and that made it the most terrifying monster for me as a kid. So what about now? After the Vashta Nerada, there hasn't been a noticeable monster that's been incorporated from our own world. Well, Steven Moffat attempted to do it, but he seemed to have forgotten his own technique. In the Series 7 story The Bells of St. John, it was Wi-Fi that tried to be scary. Moffat even said in Doctor Who magazine during the run-up to the episode, it's time to make kids scared of the Wi-Fi. But that didn't work at all, because Wi-Fi isn't scary and neither is technology. We don't find the internet creepy or eerie. So why do so many science fiction texts use technology as an enemy, and why didn't it work for The Bells of St. John? The most notable examples are programs like Black Mirror. They use technology in an inventive way, in a similar way to the earlier science fiction films like 2001: A Space Odyssey, and even further back to the golden age of cinema with films like Metropolis. All of these worked because they did something that Doctor Who didn't. They focused on the societal reactions of technology instead of the thing itself. Because technology, to an extent, is scary. It's absorbed us all into slaves, if you like, and it's shaped our world into a new age. Nuclear bombs are programmed with computers now, and that's terrifying. But Doctor Who didn't focus on that. It focused on home Wi-Fi networks taking people's souls, and that was it. In conclusion, Doctor Who, especially Steven Moffat, has a certain trick for making things on Earth scary, but they aren't every day. They're adapted to become imaginative and unique. They're things we already fear, but Doctor Who gives us a reason as to why we fear them, and the most memorable villains are based on that rule. Use gas masks and the dark, not Wi-Fi and emojis.